YouTube exclusive content. But that, let me get the settings, HD, yeah, that should be good. Okay. I'll keep checking back into chat as well in case people have any questions. So let's begin like we normally do. We're gonna go onto the Dixie, and then we'll take it from there, right? Dixie first. Love to see it. We are bleeding since the last week's lesson as well, right? So if you take a look at the weekly candle, I said you either hold this or you go down towards the mid of this order block. That was the target. Last lesson, not last lesson, last stream. So since then, we can see we've had the breakdown. We're holding the top of the order block for now with success. I want us to go deeper, but you know, it's the first step, right? It's the first step. You lose this zone, eventually you are going to go lower. That's what history tells you. Every time you lose this gray box, every time you lose this 0.5, you do end up going lower, right? So historical price action says there's no reason for this to stay propped up here. Of course, if it decides to, that's what it is, but I'm looking a bit deeper for the target for now. If this happens, then your risk on risk on assets will get, some sort of relief, right? Especially if you go all the way back down to range lows again from this rejection. So I'm hoping for a Dixie nuke because I do want one more leg up on BTC. But we'll see, right? Just because I want it doesn't mean we're gonna get it. So best we can do, best I can do, and the best you guys can do as traders, just have your key level set, watch what price action does. If price action shows something that goes against what you hope for, you adapt to that, right? You don't sit there praying on your knees hoping for something to go your way. You just adapt to the situation at hand. So for now, it's going our way. We're below the key levels, right? But I do want us to start losing this order block and just start nuking down. That's what I want next. You're sub Caleb, bro. Hope you're good, man. For some reason, I can't hear you talking. 1 second. What's going on? I can't hear Caleb talk for some reason. I can see the green light flashing, but I can't hear him talk. 1 second. Let me restart my Discord. Is that a problem? Oh no, I couldn't hear Caleb talk. Should we go, can you guys hear my voice? Yeah? Okay. I'll just reshare my stream 1 second. Right over here, applications, Dixie, go live. There we go. Okay, I'll carry on for now. No worries, bro. No worries at all. Okay, so Dixie, basically send it lower, right? That's what I want. Of course, like I said, just because that's what I want doesn't mean that's what I'm gonna get. But hopefully that's what we're gonna get. We're losing this key level for now. We go lower, that's gonna be ripe for risk on assets again, just like we had over here, right? Just like we had over here, we're gonna have a period where risk on assets are gonna start catching bids, basically. That's what that's gonna tell us. Okay, so that's Dixie. Very, very simple, right? I don't need to go in depth into this because we look at this every week. Um, if there is any beginners here who don't know what the Dixie is, just put it in chat. I'll do a quick explanation. Risk on assets. Yeah. Do you mean are you asking what risk on asset means, bro? Yeah, risk on assets, we're just saying like, basically Dixie stands for the United States dollar, right? It's showing you the correlative strength of the United States dollar, especially against other currencies, right? There's two ways to look at this. Logically speaking, you either have the dollar, right? Or you have something like Bitcoin, you have something like the Tesla stock, right? You have something like, you're holding platinum futures or something. So first thing you need to understand, right? What do we mean by risk on versus risk off environment? If something is risk, if you're in a risk off environment, right? If we're saying we're in a risk off environment, what we're saying is people are flocking out of markets that are more risk on, right? The more riskier markets like crypto, like indices, like stocks, and going to the safety of the United States dollar, okay? That's what risk off means, which is typically where you see the strength of the dollar going up because, it's been used more, right? People are flocking to the dollar. Risk on then means you're at a place where people are spending their dollar, right, to then buy something that is considered a risk on asset like stocks, like indices, like crypto. That is what risk on means. So when I say we're going to have a risk on period, what I mean is the United States dollar is at a historical resistance. This is a logical place where people would rotate out of their dollar and try and get into risk on assets, right? Like crypto, like stocks, like USDT dominance, exactly, yeah. Yeah, Jack, like USDT dominance. Only USDT dominance is specific to crypto, right? With Dixie, it's more for the whole, as a market as a whole, yeah. But yeah, so that's what I mean by when I say risk on versus risk off. Another thing to note is, just like the United States dollar, for those of you, sorry, so just like the USDT dominance, for those of you that don't know yet, the Dixie is inversely correlated to the markets, right? So going based off just what I said again, if you just think about this logically, if people are going to be, if everyone's going to be flocking to the dollar, that means there's less currency overall in the actual markets to buy up these stocks, indices, crypto, right? So if the Dixie is going up, then that is bearish for risk on markets. And similarly, if the Dixie is going down, that is bullish for risk on markets, right? Because the Dixie going down shows, basically people are spending their money to get into these risk on projects, right? And similarly, if the Dixie is going up, that's showing people are not willing to spend their dollars right now to buy, the more speculative assets like crypto, stocks, indices, so on and so forth. So that's why it's important to look at this, right? If this is a macro resistance, it might be a good time to then go risk on. This is a macro support. Every time it's been down here, it might be a good time to go risk off, right? Because if this bounces, that risk on markets are going to start to bleed along with it, along with the rise of the Dixie. So that's the Dixie, right? Let's look at USDT dominance legs, like we mentioned just now. Why is nothing loading? 1 second. Okay, right, for some reason, all of my drawings have been absolutely... Okay, there we go. Yeah, that's better. So, USDT dominance not doing much at all since our last stream. You can see we're just chopping about, right? Just chopping about, which is why Bitcoin hasn't been doing anything either. This is just indicative of a low volatility period, right? This is just indicative of a very, very low volatility period. Again, for the USDT dominance, as long as you are above this zone, I wouldn't be taking massive fresh longs, right? Especially if you are a support, I won't be taking fresh longs, okay? The time for you to bet up on longs is, again, when, just like the Dixie, when this is a resistance, right? So, again, this was the key point. Most of my calls last year were given during the, between early August and then between that and November, basically, right? Why? Because Dixie was a big resistance, right? We just looked at that. But on top of that, USDT dominance was also a big resistance, right? Coming off a structure that was making lower highs and lower highs and lower highs. It was a big resistance, which is why I gave most of my macro calls here when I did. We positioned very heavily here. I was like 90% into crypto, only 10% cash. And now the lower we go on this, the closer to support we get, I'm going to increase my cash holdings and reduce my crypto holdings, right? Why? Because now I want a confirmation that we've lost this blue line, right? This blue zone, which is this uptrend right here, right? I want confirmation we've lost that before I start adding back big again, right? So I did add in the lower highs, right? But I'm not adding too crazy big amounts, right? So I still want cash exposure in case we decide we're going to hold this level and send it back up to make another lower high maybe in the future, right? But we go and test higher levels. So I'm not going to elevate my risk when we are so close to a historically amazing support, right? I'm not going to elevate my risk over here. The time to elevate your risk is literally when you are at resistance at the peaks, right? You're not going to elevate your risk when you're so close to a potential area for a big bounce. That's not how you play it if you're looking at USDT dominance. So for now, you are between the golden pockets of the extensions. You can see that you're holding the 618, right? The primary retracement is being held. If you hold this, you might go up to spike a bit lower at the 702, 707. Maybe put in on the lower high before chopping back down. Or you lose this and go down. You don't know, right? Why? Because you're in the middle of a range. Right? You're in the middle of a range at this area. If you look at this pink box I've highlighted, that has been one range in history, right? That has been a range. Resistance here, support, support. Every time you've held this, you've gone up to reject from this white box, right? So this is a very valid range, this pink box. You are pretty much bouncing off the middle of that range right now. If I go here, let me open up the settings for this. Come on. Yeah, and then we just turn the middle line on. You will literally see where we're bouncing off, right? We're bouncing off the middle line. And I'll make it thick. There you go. So you're bouncing off the mid of this range for now, right? So you're above the mid. So you're basically in the middle of a range, right? You don't just blindly enter plays in the middle of a range because it could go either way, right? You want to strategize when you see weakness at the top, when you see strength at the bottom, or when you see a flip of the top, flip of the bottom. That is where you strategize. If you want to enter at the mid, you wait for the retest, you get in as quick as you can as soon as you see a successful retest, right? For weekly price action, again, you're looking for 4 hour to daily time frame aligned plays. As soon as you see the daily confirmation, right, daily retest successful and a confirmation open green, that was your entry, right? Entry for what? Entry for shorts, not for longs, right? If this is bullish, again, a crypto is bearish. So this was your entry for a short if you wanted to scalp some shorts. You don't just blindly enter long here. Again, why? Because you're in the middle of a range, right? You don't just blindly enter shorts here now either. Either wait for the top of the range or wait to see what happens at the bottom. It's as simple as that. No, USDT dominance and Dixie is not a one-on-one. McGovster, sick name, bro. It's not a one-on-one correlation. Dixie is overarching, right? That's literally the strength of the United States dollar. USDT dominance is more, it's showing you the dominance of the actual USDT coin, right? It's showing you the dominance of the tether, basically, as a whole. So it's not a one-to-one. You'll find that USDT dominance is a much better one-to-one with Bitcoin than Dixie is. Dixie is just an amazing macro indication, right? But USDT dominance is much more one-to-one with Bitcoin when it comes to crypto. So when Dixie is pumping, crypto and speculative instruments are likely dropping and vice versa. Yeah, exactly, Jack. Yeah, exactly. It's better if you don't try to catch, like, you're not going to be looking at the Dixie on a 1 hour, right? But I mean, you can try if you want. You're not going to get much success with that. Dixie, I'm looking at a weekly and above, right? Daily, weekly, above. Weekly is the sweet spot. USDT dominance, on the other hand, this is something now you can look at on the daily and lower if you want to, because it's much closer linked to crypto than just Dixie itself. No worries about, no worries at all, bro. No worries at all. Okay. So that's USDT dominance and that's Dixie, right? So USDT plus USDC dominance bounced off the 0.94, right? We're looking at this as well. This is both USDT dominance plus USDC dominance. So again, this is also above a key level, right? So you want this to go lower too. If you want that new highs on Bitcoin, basically, you want this to break below. You want this to go higher, lower. Sorry. So let's take a look at BVOL. BVOLs are historically low areas. You can see we haven't had much volatility in ages. Well, you bounced off the zone for now, but it's just a matter of when is the big move gonna come, right? You know you're not at peak euphoria. Do you know why? Because you'll know when you're at peak euphoria when Bitcoin volatility starts doing things like this. Okay, we haven't seen anything like this yet. If you can look at it, we've not seen anything like this yet. Nothing close to this. Bitcoin dominance, still chopping, trying to flip. Right, if this flips, we're gonna go higher. You know, my ultimate target would be around 60%. That'd be great if we could get that around here. Slowly grinding up on Bitcoin dominance. Basically meaning, you know, your alts, it's not time for your alts yet, basically, right? As long as Bitcoin dominance keeps trending up, it's just showing you, right, it's not the proper time for your alts yet. You'll know when it's alt season, right? When you start getting absolute massive death drops on Bitcoin dominance, okay? After you've had that euphoric move up. ETH dominance, you know, same logic as Bitcoin dominance, but this is only going to be relevant for when you're getting that period in the market when money's flowing from Bitcoin into Ethereum, right? That's going to be the only period in the market. Okay, so let's look at total right over here. Still making lower highs for now, right? Still making lower highs for now, but you know, you look at the weekly and you realize, well, the overall trend is still to the upside. Nothing to worry about on total one. Of course, it's amazing if you can flip 2.482 trillion, right? If you can flip this blue line, that's your next step to grind higher towards the 11413 again, where you rejected from before, right? That's where your major supply zone is for now. As long as this keeps going up, it's going to be most likely, it's going to be indicative of the fact Bitcoin's growing in market cap, right? That's what's going to be happening. Total 2, this is going to be going up when, you know, Ethereum is catching bids over Bitcoin, because Total 2 doesn't include Bitcoin in its ticker, basically, right? Total 1 includes Bitcoin plus everything else. Total 2 doesn't include Bitcoin, includes Ethereum plus everything else. And lastly, Total 3 includes basically just the alts, right? This is just the alts. It doesn't include Bitcoin or Ethereum. So you can use this, the interplay, like logically speaking, you can use the fact, that interplay of what this includes, what this doesn't include, so on and so forth, to know where is the money rotation happening, right? Is the quote-unquote alt season starting yet? Is money rotating into ETH? Should I be going risk on into alts? Should I be focused more on BTC right now? You can answer all of those macro questions you might have just by reading these 3 charts, okay? Total 2 and Total 3 right over here. Bitcoin liquidity index doesn't mean much to me right now. Okay, so that is, you know, a quick look at the macro indicator charts. Normally we only look at Dixie and USDT dominance, but I thought why not have a quick skim through everything today. Let's take a look at Bitcoin next, right? And for me, I do my macro analysis on the index chart, so you guys know. Like I was mentioning, right? I mentioned this in my channel, and I also mentioned this in previous streams. If you want Bitcoin to leg up higher, you want to see closes and consolidations above 68,997, right? There's no other way around it. You want to see closes and consolidations above this. And actually, I said, even when this candle was printing, I said 2 weeks ago when we were having a breakout, watch how the 2 week closes, right? Because people were really, you know, it was euphoric 2 weeks ago when we were having that move up again. But I said, just watch how the 2 week closes, because that is what's telling you the story right now. And you can see when this 2 week closed, right, when the monthly closed, we closed back below 68,997, right? So that's why, you know, right now, higher time frame perspective is really, really important. Don't just stick to the lower time frame, because you are chopping, right? There's nothing bearish about this, nothing at all. Because if you think about it, if you look how the monthly closed, firstly, you closed at an area where before, right, basically you had confirmations that sellers were 100% the controllers of the zone, right? What are these wicks telling you? Think about it in terms of price action. These wicks are telling you that buyers were willing to try and drive price up here, and they did, right? All these 3 wicks are showing you areas where buyers drove the price up. But the fact that the wicks means once price got to those levels, right? For whatever reason, once price got to those levels, and there's many reasons why. If you look at, you know, retracement extensions, you look at trend-based fib extensions, there's many reasons why we've been rejecting off these tops. But once you actually got to these levels, sellers took control. How do we know this? Because look, look what happened to the actual candle body, right? Yeah, sure, you came all the way up, but how did you close, right? The candle body closed down here. It doesn't matter if buyers drove the price up here if they can't keep that pressure up, right? This wicks, all these three wicks are literally telling you, okay, if you think about it in terms of buyers versus sellers, they're telling you that sellers were 100% in control at these areas, right? Between these three wicks, sellers were 100% in control because buyers couldn't sustain prices there, right? Look, you have no significant, right, candle body closes and consolidations above these levels. Buyers tried to get the price up, SFP, you drop straight back down, right? You drop straight back down. Buyers didn't have, there wasn't enough demand from the buyers to keep up the buying pressure, meaning the supply from the sellers overwhelmed the demand from the buyers. There wasn't enough demand to absorb all of that supply, which is why you went down, right? This is simple logistics. If you want to think in terms of price action, that's how I personally go about it, right? So then the fact that your monthly closes are now above such an area, right? Before, even on the weekly, right, you know that buyers weren't able to keep the pressure up, but now sellers are struggling to send the price down, right? You can see that on the 2 weeks, you can see it clear as day. No closes above, right? Buyers couldn't do it, but now no closes plus holes below. Sellers are struggling to throw the price back down, right? So until you see you've lost 64,898 with confirmation, right, which we haven't had yet on the higher time frame. You've had so on the lower time frames like the daily. I know it's a bit crazy calling the daily a lower time frame, but for me, daily is like intraday, right? This is neither a higher or lower time frame. This is somewhere in between. Weekly and above is higher time frame for me. You had the chop on the weekly, sure, but on the ones that matter, like I said, 2 weeks is the one you should be eyeing for now. You're consolidating an area where before, like we just mentioned, buyers couldn't hold candles, right? It couldn't sustain candle bodies at this area before. But now sellers are struggling to send price below that area. So if you think about it in that terms, this is very bullish, right? Because what you're doing here is something you couldn't do back here, right? This is telling you now there's enough demand from the buyers, right, to sustain the price at this area where as before, as soon as you touch this, it was instant death, right? You touch this, instant death. So this is showing you, like if you think about it, it's showing you the buyer's flip of the buyers, right? The buyer's flip of the demand for this asset over time is increasing. That's what this is telling you. So it wouldn't just be overly bearish at this for no reason, right? You wouldn't be. Because don't forget the macro trend, you're still on the right side of the V, right? You're still on the buy side. You're not on the sell side yet. They've gone no confirmation that you're on the sell side yet, right? So that, I'm not saying by when I say that, I'm not saying okay, now time for you to entirely, go mortgage your house, put everything into Bitcoin. I'm not saying that, right? Like at the end of the day, you do have elevated risk at this area simply because you are at all-time highs. You're not sustaining candle body closes above the area where you peaked at last bull run, right? You're not doing that yet. So it's not all just sunshine and rainbows, right? But this is an area where you don't be overly bullish, but neither do you be overly bearish, right? If you start seeing structure flip to the upside above 68,997, you take tight risk managed longs, right? If you see losses from there, you see weakness going below 64k, that's where you take tight risk managed shorts, right? If you are a leverage trader. You don't just sit here hoping for 100k BTC. You also don't just sit here thinking, oh yeah, we're definitely going to go to 30k BTC. You do need to up those things. You just play level by level, especially if you're not already positioned, right? There's nothing else you can do. If you're not already positioned, I would actually say, why would you enter here, right? Because at the end of the day, you are now at all-time highs, right? So until you get confirmation that you've broken out of this range, there's no point entering blindly. But if you've been around since the bear market, then we've been positioned since all of these lows, right? So it's nothing for you to worry about. We've got so many risk-free spot bags just chilling, waiting for the bull market now to offload them, distribute. We've got swings open still from down here, so it's not a problem. We're just gonna add when things seem right, right? Over here it's not. So let me check back to the chat. What's up, Grizzly bro? What do you mean by do you use others at all? Oh, okay. Yeah, I see what you mean. Is this for are you talking about total? That's a good point, bro. I've not actually got it up here. Others, like I've heard of it before, but I never really got around to putting it down. I suppose that'd be a nice extension to Total 3 though, right? So I've got Total DeFi. Let's see. Excluding top 10. That's a good point. Thanks for pointing this out, bro, actually. I heard of this before, but I never got around to putting it down. Come on, get up there, get up there. Sorry guys, 1 second. Let's put it here. Others. I'll touch on this others next stream actually. I'll take a look, do some TA on this, and then see how it correlates. Including top 10. Yeah, that's a really good point, to be honest. I like XRP dominance. We're gonna get Doji ETF before we see XRP new highs, bro. So that's alright, we got time. So, 1 second. Right, anyway, we just looked at Bitcoin. Right, we were at Bitcoin, right over here. So yeah, all in all, just as a conclusion, right, development above 68,997, right, you'll be doing something you've not done in history yet. That is very, very good reason to not be bearish, right? And unless you see, weekly bearish divergence, you see SFPs to fib extensions. If you start seeing that, of course, right, just there's a reason to be bearish, of course. But until you see that, right, we don't have weekly bearish divergence yet. We have nothing of the sort, right? 2 week bearish divergence. We don't have weekly bearish divergence. We don't have anything like that. There's no reason to be overly bearish. Actually, if RSI manages to flip here, you have a potential to go up higher again, right? Reach for the tops again, to be on the extremely extended
Yo, what
area.
Can you hear me?
Yo, what's up, bro? Yeah, I can hear
sorry
you.
to interrupt you, but your stream is paused, so we can't actually
Oh,
see it.
is it paused? 1 second. Why did it pause? Okay, let me restream, guys. 1 sec. I don't know what's happening. Let's see. I'm just gonna share my screen so that it doesn't do this. Go live. There. You guys should be able to see everything now. Just let me know once you can see it. Just loading 1 sec, guys. Sorry. Every time I try to stream from my laptop, it just acts up so hard. Give me a minute. What is going on, bro? Jesus Christ. There we go. Can you guys see the stream? Can you hear my voice? Okay. Jesus. How about this one. Any of these? No? No? Okay, great. Right, hopefully you can hear my voice now. Really sorry about this. Every time I stream from my laptop, it just acts up so hard. Yeah, hey, okay, great. Okay, and what I'll do is I'll just share my screen. Screens, this one. Yeah, go live. And hopefully you guys can see that. If I put TradingView up, you should be able to see it. Yeah, okay, great. So let's carry on then. BTC, just as I was saying, just to top off, 2 weeks. If you start seeing development above 68,997 with candle body closes and successful retests, you'll be doing something that's never been done before. Basically, you'll be flipping previous all-time highs. That is now a macro reason to think we're going to get one more leg up, right? 80k, 90k, 100k, whatever your price target is. High 70s even, maybe. That is what would actually constitute having a reason now to believe in that leg up, right? But until that happens, just look, until that happens, this is major resistance, right? In fact, exactly as we did over here, that's what you do over here. This area is an area where you haven't managed to close any candle bodies yet, right? So this is now just one big, this is not a textbook supply zone, as in this isn't a liquidity pocket or anything like that, but this is a zone of supply, right? Like this is an area where, there we go, let's do that. This is an area where sellers are active, right? This is seller central basically. So until this gets flipped, forget about higher prices. This is the zone that needs to get flipped for now. So that's BTC. Let's take a look at Ethereum real quick, right? Ethereum index, let's take a look at that. So Ethereum did hit that zone we were talking about, right? Over here. And actually I did actually give a long on Ethereum in crypto chat because someone asked for it. If anyone was paying attention to this one, right over here. In crypto chat I was saying, okay, well, if we get a breakout and then a retest of the 6-6, right? That was the entry trigger I gave in crypto chat. Then I said that should successful trigger for a long. Got the breakout, got the successful retest of the 6-6 over here, right? The macro golden pocket over here. And from there, you have had since a 30% spike up, right? A 30% spike up in price. And now you're consolidating again. So at these areas, right, after you've had such a drastic move up already and you're clearly at resistance, right? If we go back to linear, you can see we're very, very clearly at resistance. You're at the top half of the key inflection area. You're at, again, just looking at the wicks, right? If I turn to this, settings, and then I just go and turn this into like a bearish order block or something. Right? It's not actually an order block, just doing it for the settings. You will notice what we're doing is the area where you couldn't close a candle body of up before, the area where sellers were active, that is where you're rejecting from again, right? I'm not marking out any liquidity pockets when I do this. I'm simply looking at the areas where buyers and sellers were active and defining my price action based around that logic, right? And that is where you're rejecting from for now. The area where sellers were active before is where you're rejecting from for now. But you're holding the mid of the key inflection area. As long as you hold this mid, this white box within the gray, right? As long as you hold that, you've got reason to go higher. If you lose that, the next area you need to hold is 3,581. As long as you hold this key inflection area, what you're holding is the boundary between historical ranges, right? That's what I've got drawn down. So you're going to have room to go higher, right? So for now, what you're not going to be doing is just blindly shorting, because now you're at an area where if buyers decide to show strength anywhere within where we are now to 3581, we are going to go higher. Okay, 4K going to be inevitable. Flip that, 4,382, somewhere around there. And then you flip that, it's going to be high 4Ks again, all-time highs, right? So the only reason to be shorting now is if you see, for the macro is if you firstly see weakness, you see breakdown and unsuccessful retest of 3770, that'd be a first trigger. Or if you go and actually lose 3,581 and bearishly retest that, right? That's the only two scenarios currently where you short. Of course, the last one being you go and you fail to flip 4028. If you see rejections of 4028, you can scalp a short there as well. But if you go to top side, the likelihood of you going higher is much higher, right? So you wouldn't be blindly shorting here, right? And the only time I'd take a long now is if you get that pullback to 3581. Because if you didn't enter here, ask yourself, why would you enter here? It's just elevated risk, right? So that's for ETH. ETH, very, very clean, looks very, very good, right? I've been at ETH maxi from day. So, bro, just send ETH to even ETH goes to 6K, bro, I can retire peacefully. That's what it is. So I'm just, my bag gets bigger every time we get confirmed higher lows. I added a little bit over here, not too much, right? Because I already have the fattest bags from down here. Now as we go up, I'm just gonna add little bits. I want my average to be as low as possible. I don't want to overexpose to the point where, I'm actually worrying about the position either. Yo, thanks, Caleb, bro. ETH la vida, look. Yeah, Marquise, I'll record this and put it into my YouTube channel, bro. For sure. Let me just go up a bit. Stream pause, yeah. Okay, so that's ETH. Anything else to look at? What else? Okay, let's go over some of the calls I've been giving actually. Well, first of all, let's look at the coins we looked at last time. So let's go to 4Unity over here. So the coins we looked at last time were Big Time, right? Which has had since then, actually wait, we peaked at what? I've not been paying attention to this. We've had a 49% increase, right? Since my original entry, since I called this on, when I gave this originally a couple streams back, which was the order block, we've had a 50% increase since then. I've not updated this since I did the 30% update. So once we go and hit the dragon target, right? And again, for those of you that don't know, a dragon is an informal harmonic pattern, not a formal one. This isn't made by Scott Carney, but it's an informal harmonic pattern. I do like them. They're really nice with confluence within falling wedges and stuff. So eyeing that dragon target for now, right? We'll see 50% up so far. With, let me talk about for with. We had the breakout. We haven't had a retest, right? We haven't had a retest yet. So last we looked at this Tuesday. So we looked at this right over here, basically. You retested the golden pocket, right? But you didn't have a retest of the actual breakout itself. It's what it is. You're not always going to get that perfect retest. And it's actually crazy how, bro, if you compare, proper A-tier projects right now, right? You go look at anything, Arbitrum, Optimism, all of these, actual fleshed out projects, that are working towards utility, towards innovating the space, bro. All their charts are absolutely dog shit. The only charts that look good right now are meme coins, and it's so funny, bro. It's so funny, right? You compare something like WIF, right? You compare something like WIF, and you go and let's compare that to something, right? We'll go and compare that to Atom, bro. It's night and day, right? Just look, it's night and day. No one's interested in the projects that are pushing the space forward. No. They're interested in the dog with hats, bro. This cycle has been so crazy because typically, when you see memes popping off, you'd be saying, okay, well, this is heralding the end of days, right? The headless horseman's here, the market's about to collapse. That's just not been the case. It's just been money's going into memes, to memes, to memes, and that's it. It's absolutely ridiculous, bro. This space is actually crazy. But yeah, let's take a look. Bonk, that's the other one we looked at, right? I was calling this with one of my students when this was happening, but I didn't give this as a public call. When we retested the 87886 of the Fib speed fan right over here. You had confluence with 702, 707, right? You held that. So for now, bonk too high for me to buy. Right? I'm not gonna buy bonk here. Like I'm not crazy, bro. I'm allocated to ones I want to be, right? I traded bonk. I've not got any spot bonk. That's my loss. It's what it is, right? But at the end of the day, when this was happening in bonk, no one can tell me they had the highest conviction in bonk, thinking, yeah, you're gonna run all the way up to here, right? No one. That's what it is. Yeeted my airdrop token when the pump happened, and then after that, it's just been trading it. So no spot bonk for me. Like it's what it is. Like take it to the chin. Look at Sui. Sui hit the demand zone again, right? You went for that double bottom actually. Very, very clean. And what you're doing now is bouncing off this 3-day order block right over here. This is a liquidity pocket, and this is an actual liquidity pocket, right? Apart from the, not like what I was doing before where I was drawing the wicks. Those aren't like, textbook liquidity pockets. This one is, right? This one is a classic bullish order block right over here. And within that, this is a 3-day bullish order block right over here. So as long as this holds, you're good, right? You're good for Sui. We did originally enter this somewhere down here. That was the original entry. We've had really, really nice move up since then. I think like this, like a 3-4x we've had. And now, if anyone missed that, then and you wanted some Sui in your portfolio, not a bad place to try and basically layer into some, right? For this particular one, two ways you can do this. Either cut it if the 3-day order block is lost, or if you want to widen your risk, what you do is reduce your position size and cut it if this demand zone here is lost, right? This 5-day demand zone. So if you want to take this whole thing into account, you'd reduce your position size because obviously you're working with a wider range and your DCAs are going to be lower, right? They're going to be wider. So if you want to go tighter plays, obviously you'd position size accordingly. This is your tighter stops play, wider stops play right over here. But basically not a bad area to add on to Sui, right? You can see key area in history. If you hold these, you have room to go higher on Sui. This is a nice high-low area. Fire, I'm still holding spot for this. I've only done one layering which is when I mentioned it, right? Ever since then, I've not touched this. This one, like I said, just waiting for the uptrend to eventually come in before I start layering into this again, right? The exit strategy was also given. Like I will say this over and over again. The exit strategy was given. I was saying if you guys want to exit, you wait for the bearish back test and exit then, right? Which was right over here. You pretty much would have closed the break even. I said when this happened that I'm not exiting, I'm holding, right? Because when I entered the trade, I didn't enter with this is a tight risk entry for me, right? The moment when I entered this trade, I said this is going to be a longer time frame entry trade for me. So if it goes lower, it goes lower. I'll just alert when I layer in. I layered in once at the 87886. Ever since then, I've not layered in because it's not showing signs of strength at such deep value areas, right? So I'm going to wait until the signs of strength come in now. Basically, you're flipping trend to the upside again. Once I see you on the buy side, that is when I will start layering in heavier again to bring my average down. Until then, just lock it and forget it. That's what fire is for me, right? Next, FET. So FET is at a range mid. As long as these holds, you're good for FET. But I was hoping you wouldn't get below 2.1397 for the bulls, right? Next target, if you do close below here, then I'd be looking towards basically 1.915, right? Somewhere around this area, this lower half of the box, between 2.02 and 1.95, 915. That's the area where I'd be looking for bias to step in. If you lose that as well, then just go and raid external liquidity. Like I don't know what else you'd be doing. The external liquidity right now is right over here. 1.59. That's the external liquidity I'd watch to get raided if you lose this box. So that was the last. That was the last 5 calls we looked. That was the last 5 or last 6 charts we looked at in last week's stream, right? So let's go and take a look at some of the coins that we entered here. So first and foremost, DOT1, right? DOT. So I entered DOT on spot. I mentioned everything right now. I entered is on spot. Once the pump happened, anyone with leverage, one second, let me take a look. Where was this when we entered? Yeah, we've entered right over here, right? So we got a 5% pump before this decided to go down. Now, I haven't actually updated any of these plays because last week I've been pretty busy. You see, I've not been much active last week. But you know, if you did manage to catch that 5% up, hopefully some of you put your stop loss to break even once you did get a 5% move up, right? If not, it's what it is. I've not done any layering in yet because, like I said, I've been busy. I've not actually looked at this chart yet. That's why I've not updated it. Stop loss has been tagged, but it hasn't hit, right? Like I said, I don't ever close once stop loss gets hit. I close at the confirmation of the loss. You didn't lose the stop loss, so the trade is still valid. Okay, the trade is still valid right over here. For those of you, I think I got a question about this earlier actually. One sec. How do you read your? I see you take a trade on leverage, but stop loss not clear to me. The stop loss is going to be right here, bro. Right on my charts, the stop loss will be on the red right over here because that's going to be the bottom. Every time I take a trade, I will mention if you want a hard stop, right? If you want a absolute hard stop, you wait for the close below this level, right? That's your hard stop. You wait for a close. If you want a manual one, obviously you're looking for that, breakdown retest, which is what I go for. I entered spot. Next area, if you do happen to close below this, right? You happen to close below this level, then I think you go to this liquidity pocket here, right? Which is why you would close it if this did get lost and just enter here again. Because the last thing you want to do is keep DCAing down the entire range for you to lose the range, right? Which is the whole reason I defined this stop loss to begin with. So should you come to lose this level, definitely stick with it, right? Cut the position because at the end of the day, if you get liquidity rated and you end up reclaiming this level, you can just enter again, right? You would have lost hardly anything and you have another chance at this, right? So if your trade setup doesn't play out the first time, don't just completely ignore the trade setup, right? Your timing was just a bit off. That's all it was. So if you do get the manual, breakdown and then the close below, that is when I will be closing, right? Especially if you lose this zone as well. But we haven't had that yet, right? You can see the level I had marked, you got serious strength off it for now, right? Serious strength off it. So this was actually an ideal position to actually DCA in, but like I said, I was busy. I don't set limits for my DCAs. I like to do it as signs of entry. And sometimes it's, when the play happens, if I'm busy, it's just what it is. I don't get it. So let me quickly catch up with chat before we move on. Let's take a look. Talent's Proof Spot ETF. Yeah, I just saw that, bro. Yeah, Harp doesn't have a hat. With does. You're exactly right, bro. Exactly right. Why would you invest in, why would you invest in ARB, right? That's boring. Arbitrum? Right? It sounds a bit too try-hardy for me. Atom with hat. Time for us to create our uh, own coin, boys. Cat with dog. Okay, so that was dog. But there's so many alts, right? That's the thing, guys. You got to understand right now. The best thing you can do right now is to reduce your risk and just have exposure, right? Look, let me just cycle through some coins, bro. Engine, right? Look, beautiful. This trade setup right over here. This wasn't given. This was just an idea. This has not been entered yet. I've not called this yet. The time I did call this was here. Again, this was for one of my students. We got a nice move up and we're having it down. So this is the problem right now, bro. It's so illiquid in the market. Look at Engine Coin, right? Just look at this on the weekly. Look where it's sat, right? Look where it's sat. Look at the macro structure, bro. This should be an area where everyone is frothing in the mouth to buy, but you get there, right? You have breakouts from macro falling wedges, right? You have following the breakout, you have a retest followed by a macro M shape completing, which gave you a type 2, which bottomed out, and then you have a breakout of a compression structure, all at a key level, right? This is the gold standard for when you would buy, right? But you get that breakout, and because no one is interested in buying these coins right now, bro. There is no liquidity in the market, which is so frustrating because you have these A tier setups, right? Like, don't get it twisted. This is an A tier setup on Engine Coin, right? But just no one's buying. So the best you can do, bro, just go right now, buy some Engine Coin spot if anyone's looking for any spot plays, right? I'm not saying go buy everything. This is not financial advice. This is just me talking to myself. You do what you want with it. But look at where you are. Look how well you can manage your risk, right? Look at your upside targets. if you don't have any spot holdings and you're looking for some that you're willing to hold for an elongated period of time, you know that you're not going to get a straight move off it right now. But eventually, when the alt rotation happens, these will catch bids. Then engine coin is an amazing play, right? It's an amazing play. There's no other way around it. The only reason this is happening is because all the liquidity is going to, Lameaus and, Ponkies and whatever else, right? And Caitlyn Jenner's coins and shit like this. Iggy's coin. They're sucking the liquidity dry, bro, out of these A-tier setups. Because don't get it twisted, look, this is a A-tier setup, okay? Completed M shape, right? Compression, consolidation of the completed M shape. You have strength coming into the PRZ. You already have a, macro breakout. You've come down for this almost like double bottom kind of structure, right? There's so much, and yet no one's bidding, right? That's the frustrating part. Absolutely no one is bidding. Hatter, man. I'll take a look at gaming in a minute, brother. Yeah, sure. Julius, I'm just gonna call you Julius. Thanks for being here, bro. Thanks for your time. Okay, engine, right? Filecoin's another one that I gave. Just look at it, right? Compression structure. You have a potential macro inverse head and shoulders going on here, right? First and foremost, you have a potential macro inverse head and shoulders going on here. Look where you are, right? In this coin. If I go over here, I believe it is then. What the hell? One sec. 2, 3, right over here. Scalping. Okay, right over here. If I go here and I go onto Filecoin, right? This is another one that I gave. Take a look at where we are, right? Just take a look at where we are, bro. So this one we already played before, right? I already gave this previous Filecoin play. Again, look, where are we? Key inflection area, right? Key inflection area. Key levels from history, basically, right? You've come down for, look where you are, bro, at the chart, right? Look where you are at the chart. You're literally coming down to test the 2018 lows. It's not every day in your life that you get to see something come and test historical lows like that, right? Completed M shape at such a key level, right? Type 2, uptrending, higher lows on wicks, higher lows on candle bodies. You can't ask for anything better, right? And it played out. Look, it played out, right? Look, took the B out first, flipped the B, took out C, and then flipped the B again, flipped the key inflection area, took out A, went to the next key inflection area, waited for the aggressive market participants to step in. That's what the black dots are showing you before trapping them and just nuking the hell out of it. This is textbook, right? This is very, very textbook. This is how it should be. And what do we have again? Again, we have a completed M shape, right? Look, 886, 531, 207, 625. This is a glorious bat we have in front of us, right? A completed M shape leading to a compression, but no one is bidding this, right? But the structures are there. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Do not fade these structures because look, it's all fine to think, look, no one's buying until you get that one god candle, right? Because at the end of the day, price doesn't have to go up linearly, right? You can compress for 32 months, 3 months, you can just compress here, have that 140% candle when you wake up, right? It can happen. And that would still be a valid harmonic play. So do not fade these structures, right? There's so many right now that are sat at areas where you can manage your risk so well. Filecoin being one of them, right? This is literally a re-up of this. You did it at the lower level, now you're doing it at the upper level, right? Send it back up, flip this and go higher. B would be your first target, C would be your next target, A would be your next target, right? So there's so many beautiful setups, just like this. You see later focus, bro. That's Filecoin, right? Let's take a look at some other ones. ZRX. This one, another one, right? Firstly, macro, very, very key level that it came and sat perched at. Came and perched at a very, very key level. Came down to liquidity pockets. Let me just load the volume analysis. There we go. The 3 different standard deviations. Again, what do we have on ZRX? 518, 293, 523, 886, right? This is, again, a bat, right? You have these macro bats popping up everywhere on so many different alts, right? Following that at golden pocket on the extension, right? 87886, deep value, macro retracement. Amazing confluential fib levels, all of these areas. You have compression, right? Look, you have a breakout, and then you just die back down. There's no liquidity to support the moves up. There's no liquidity, right? But this is the time where if you actually want to expose yourself and build spot bags, right? You realize that you don't have enough olds. You want to get into some olds. This is where you do it, right? Look, you layer at the 618, layer in again at the 66, right? Maybe layer in once more at the 702, 707. If you lose that, just cut it. Like, this is an area where you now layer in, right? Sometimes simple is the best. You don't need any fancy risk management strategies. You don't need this. You just need to have exposure steadily over time to account for any fluctuations in chop you might have. Okay, because you can manage your risk well at the end of the day. You don't just fully ape in here, because if you do that, your emotions are going to be wrecked. You're gonna, I don't care if you think you're a cold guy, whatever, you're gonna get emotional if you just layer in, right? If you just throw your entire position size in here, you drop it, you have a 5-10% drop, you're gonna close, right? It's gonna happen. So layer in, right, to account for any chop, just layer in. You can, if you build positions at these key areas, right? Invalidation is so, like, for example, if you lose the 886, right, you lose this wick and you actually close below and you retest bearishly, just cut it. From where you are right now to this wick, it's a 19% drop, right? Layering in, 19% is nothing. It's absolutely nothing. That's so easy to absorb, if you, especially if you're layering on spot, right? Obviously on leverage is a different matter, so you have to do your risk calculations on leverage before you enter. But when you have macro coins like this, right, you don't need to leverage every trade. Do you know what I mean? It's like spot's gonna treat you well, or just low leverage spot, right? If you want to have exposure to position size. As long as you watch your position size, basically, that's right. You can go for a 200x long if you want. Just watch your position size over time. Increase your position size accordingly, right? Doesn't matter what leverage you use. Just increase your position size accordingly. There's so many alts like this, guys. Absolutely so many alts. And the thing is, like, yeah, it's doing this for now, but just think, if you are at the belief that we've not topped out yet, we can go higher, right? Personally, I think we, in the grand scheme of things, I think we probably have another year or so where we can, go up. Then these are going to be traded much higher, guys. It's inevitable. You're not going to stay here forever, right? You're not going to stay here forever. So these are coins that you want to, these are the type of setups rather that you want to bet on, because you can manage your risk, right? I don't care what the coin does, right? There's very few plays I've taken based on fundamentals, Ondo being one of my biggest bags based on actual fundamentals, right? RWA narrative. But apart from that, I'm a trader, right? I'm a trader. I'm going to enter where it makes sense to, where I know what my risk is, right? And I'm going to take profits and distribute when I hit my target. It's as simple as that. And if I see strength going into the target, if I see a higher low after that, I will simply re-add, rinse and repeat, right? No emotions, just be cold with it. XTZ, right? Another one. Look, completed M shape, 886, right? You have an 886 here, completed M shape, and this is a bat if you do it on the line chart, okay? I've only done it like this to account for the wick highs, but if you do this on the line chart, what you have is this to this, and this to this, right? That is a valid bat in my books, okay? 886, that's a valid bat. Completed M shape, look, compression again, breakout, you're just not getting much bids in here, right? You're not getting many bids, but look where you are, 3-day order block. So if you wanted to take bids, right, you just layer it through here, just like this, right? Where we are currently over here, layer it in through there. And then if you lose that 3-day order block, right, for example, you lose the 702, 707, anything like this, you lose that wick low, then you can just cut it. If you get the breakdown failed retest, just cut it. But you can manage your risk so well for so many of these alts, right? Dot being under the same boat, completed M shape, there's whisperings of a Polkadot ETF in the future. If that happens, this is gonna rip, right? This is gonna rip based off the news, right? We just need some sort of confirmation of that. And don't get it twisted, like, many people make fun of Polkadot, but this is one of the most heavily VC-backed coins there is. And I'm sure those VCs want a piece of the pie when it comes to extracting the coins they invested in for profits, right? Polkadot is one of the most heavily VC-backed projects. Don't get it twisted, right? To people who entered market like recently, all you have seen for Polkadot is it's been underperforming. But it is, I'm telling you, one of the most heavily VC-backed projects there is. Polkadot, okay, this is heavily invested into by VCs. LRC, right? Again, let's take a look. Absolutely same thing, right? Look, same thing. Completed M shape, right? Bat, and then you have compression. You're coming down into a daily order block, right? Easy place for you to manage your risk. Targets are up here, right? Targets are up here. Easy place for you to manage your risk. Ape, one of those coins where you have a extended M shape, right? You have a deep extension on the M shape, and then you have compression from there at, again, most importantly, where is this at $1, right? At the all-time lows of this. And now you're entering into a like a zone where if you hold the bottom, you're gonna go higher, right? And you've actually, you're compressing there. So again, very, very easy way to manage a risk here, right? You can just put a stop loss. If you lose this bottom of this zone and you fail the retest, you just cut the position. Doesn't matter, right? So many projects like this that look great, guys. KNC's already had a nice move up. KNC, you had a completed M shape before, but this was more of a range play, range lows. So we'll move on from this for now. H bar, this is another one that has a completed M shape, right? Completed M shape right over here. And then you have the strength coming off the completed M shape. Type 2 return type of thing, right? The type 1 just sent you all the way up for this one. But H bar is another one that's been showing really nice strength, right? This is one that's now been making higher lows. So you have the potential, or you can say to yourself, okay, this is probably gone onto the buy side now, basically. What do I mean? You're probably on the right side of the V instead of being on the left side. Instead of making lower lows and lower highs, you're now going up, making higher highs, higher lows, right? So H bar is another one I definitely watch for, right? And again, if you're speaking in terms of let's just look at it in a very simple manner, right? This right here is what's happened here? 1 second. Right, if I do this, take it here. This is, this used to be a zone of supply right over here, right? Which is why I rejected. And now what you're doing is you're consolidating above that. So if you want to layer in, this is where you do so. Layer in here, DCA1 maybe at the bottom of the box, right? And then the last layering in is if you get a liquidity rate below the box towards one of these wick areas here, right? If you get that last layer in, and if you start closing below that, just cut it. Otherwise, you're going to have an SR flip, which is going to send you higher because your next target is going to be up here, 0.24. Going to be like a 150% increase in price, right? Many alts are perched there. The setups are there, right? It's all laid out in front of you. So now all you need to do is survive, right? That's all you need to do, survive. The markets will try to milk you for everything that you have. You just have to survive that. You don't need any fancy strategies. You don't need this. You don't need that. You just need to know which coins are sat at areas where I can manage my risk, right? That look like they're primed for higher. That have been making higher lows and higher highs coming off the lows after the compression. Look, accumulation, done, right? You're now making higher highs and higher lows based off coming off of this accumulation, right? Which coins are doing that? After that, you just manage your risk, survive the chop. Once you survive the chop, and most people are the market, that's always where you get your next leg up. Because at the end of the day, they don't want everyone to make it, right? The market doesn't want you to make it, bro. It's a zero-sum game. Many people are going to get liquidated. Many people are going to lose their accounts, lose their bearings, lose their purchasing power before they actually get the move up, right? So you just have to survive that period before you get your move up. Dash, another one, right? This one is at key levels. And actually, it's better to look at this one on log because of how much data there is. Right, let's look at Dash here. Where is it? Dash. Also, there you go. Dash, very, very key level, right? On log, this looks absolutely amazing. Are you kidding me? Like, just take a look at it. Look, massive fuck off falling wedge right over here, right? And I'm going to draw zones in a minute, actually. It's probably better to do zones. Which one? I think this one's better. Look at this. You're telling me this doesn't look good? From 2017, you've been in this massive falling wedge, right? And now you're at a key level, right? Very, very key level between these two zones. It's a very, very key area because this is a monthly fair value gap, right? You're now at a monthly fair value gap. You've hit the mid, and now you're making higher lows based off that. If you want to have one more drive lower, so be it. You can. You'll still be feeling more of that monthly fair value gap. But what is this monthly fair value gap also pairing up as? Support and resistance, right? Look, previous pre-2017 structure down here, right? If I extend this, resistance just below this, basically, right? Below this is resistance. And this is your breakout. So you can think anything lower than this is probably going to give you a retest of these areas before you go higher. If that happens, why would you not load up? And I said that at one point it went to $1,000. and you're currently getting it at, let's say, $17 or something, right? If you do get that low. But you just, these are areas where you just layer in, very slowly you layer in. You don't just stop there to think, okay, how much leverage do I take on this, or where's my risk? You just layer in. And that's, obviously it's not financial advice, but what I'm doing, all I can say is what I'm doing. When I see coins like this, I don't care about stop loss, right? Stop loss is very easy for me. If you lose these key levels and you start to lose them, close below them, you've lost all structure, then I will clutch it, right? But these are the places where I'm willing to take more risk. Because what most people do, right? You've got to understand what most people do. They don't take risks here. They take, the higher up you go in price, the more retail flocks in, the more you feel FOMO, the more you buy, right? And that's human psychology. I'm not going to blame you for that. But as a trader, that is something you need to overcome. Your risk needs to be elevated at areas like this. You don't elevate your risk once something's already pumped up, back up, right? Most people elevate their risk after the breakout has happened, after you've had a big move up, because they think, oh yeah, this is it. Not realizing the majority of the move where you actually want to catch has already happened, right? I'll already be, for example, people who entered here will already be distributing on you once you get to these levels. And this is where most people will be looking at this like, oh shit, we're in an uptrend, I'm going to buy here. But your risk is so much more elevated here as compared to down here. So that's a psychological tip you need to get into your head, right? The move hasn't happened yet. That's why it's scary, because you don't know. You might be thinking, oh, but what if it crashes? What if it crashes? Like, don't be a pussy. Just layer in with an amount that if you lose it, you're going to be fine, right? Just risk an amount that you're willing to be happy with, and then just layer in with that, right? Just layer in with that, and just forget about it. Just layer in, forget about it. Layer in, forget about it. Like I said, most people only enter once you get up, and which is why you get the overbought and the oversold conditions, and which is why trap traders are a thing, because people always long the breakout, people always short the breakdown rather than being positioned to catch the actual breakout of the breakdown itself, right? So Dash, another amazing one, right? People will sleep on this, it's a dino coin, so on and so forth. I do not care. Yeah, you can't lie to me, you can't chat to me. This looks amazing. Look at this on log. This looks amazing, right? This is absolutely amazing on log. Go back, we'll take a look. Algo, right? Another one that I've been sharing. Algo, another one that looks fire. Look, M shape, completed M shape at key levels from history, right? Look where it is. Key level from history, right? Completed M shape. Again, the problem is right now, market's dead, volatility is really, really low, so no one's buying. The setups aren't playing out, right? But that doesn't mean the setups are invalid, right? You just layer in. And I'm not saying you need to go open up an account and start layering into all of these. Just choose a couple you like, right? Just choose a couple you like and just stick with them. Also, don't do this thing where you get into a position, you see something else popping off, so you close your position here, try to chase that. Don't be one of them people either, right? That's like you playing a game of musical chairs where you never have a chair, okay? Don't do that. You stick with, once you choose a project, stick with it until the trade plays out, okay? Either your invalidation gets hit or your TP hits. Stick with it. Because for example, you might decide to enter algo, but then you see LRCs popping off. What you don't do is close your entire algo position and go chase the coin that's already began to pop. Don't do something like that, because that's something else that many people are, guilty of. Don't be doing something like that either. Okay, so I'll go OXD, another one. This one actually had a really nice move up from my entry. It just about front ran the B, which I'm so pissed off with. I just looked at this the other day. So I've not taken any TPs on this yet. But again, look what you had, right? Completed M shape, and this one actually got a nice move, right? So this is just an example of what happens once the moves, if you actually do cast some bids, right? Completed M shape, you have a really nice bat. You just about you front round the B. I'm still holding, right? If my stop loss hits for now, I put my stop loss to break even. If it hits, it hits. I don't care. I'll just re-enter, right? Because this would still be valid. B hasn't even been hit yet. The harmonic will still be valid. If my stop loss hits a break even, I'll just look for a re-entry. No, it's what it is. I've not taken TPs yet. Zcash, right? Another one. You do have a completed M shape on this, and you already got the move up from that. Actually, here's your completed M shape. You've got the move up from there already. Zcash is another one I'm actually going to look at on log. Let's take a look, right? Where is it? I think Dash looks better than Zcash, but that doesn't mean Zcash looks bad at all. Right, so if I hit something, no. Let's take it from here. Let's do this. There we go. And there we go, right? Here. Here's why Zcash looks good, right? Very, very easy for you to manage your risks here. If you were to enter Zcash right now, okay, how would you do it? If you wanted to cut, if you lose these wicks, you'd cut it, right? If you wanted to DCA, you DCA lower at these zones. I would recommend playing a level by level for Zcash, meaning if you lose these wicks, cut it and either re-enter on the reclaim or maybe start layering in if you hit the mid, so on and so forth. Because if you do this on spot, that's basically going to be nothing, right? No change, hardly any change to your account balance. But another one of these Dino coins that I think eventually will catch some sort of move up, right? Zcash right here, just because look where it's here again, very, very low risk areas. There's no reason for you to be thinking, oh yeah, this is now going to go to $1.40. What logical reason do you have to think this is going to go to $5, right? To $2.60? It's not. Your lowest wick was to $10, right? Why would Zcash go below $10 again? This literally happened, back in 2018, right? Ever since then, you haven't even hit those lows. You survived COVID, you survived this and that, right? So much you've been survived, you never went to breach that low again. So now when we're in an environment where, big money's flowing in, crypto is being talked about publicly, crypto is being talked about mainstream, why would you expect any coins to go and make fresh new lows for no given reason, right? So with now that logic in mind, this now becomes an area where you can manage your risk if you enter again, right? So Zcash, another one that looks amazing. Right, let's just keep going on. We have hot, another one I gave, right? What do you have here? You have a shark, 886, 382 basically, right? Extension at the top. What is this? This is a shark. This is a valid shark on hot. And then compression coming off the shark. And you have all the liquidity pockets below in case you want to have one more dive down. But again, that's an area where you can manage your risk by layering in, right? You can manage your risk by layering in. That's hot for you. You can see, look, I've given you so many old setups so far, guys, right? So many old setups. You just need to choose a couple and just layer in over time, right? That's all you need to do. You don't need to do anything fancy. You don't need to be in a trade every day, right? You don't need this, I need to trade every day, right? If you want to scalp every day, that's completely different. But just realize, scalping versus accounting for moves that's going to give you, these, where you're going to go from 0.002 all the way up to like 0.005, right? That's two completely different things, right? Scalping versus swinging psychology is different, okay? So when you're in macro structures like this, don't just focus on scalping either, right? You shouldn't just be a scalper. Like, these are areas where you now also have to consider swinging, right? And the last time I was this passionate about talking about swinging was 2023, right? When I gave all my calls, and you know how that played out, right? You know how that played out. I'll let the results speak for themselves. So when you're at these macro areas, this is where you get active, right? This is where you pay attention. This is where you manage your risk, make plans, save some money up from the side. Stop wasting money on useless shit. Put it into these coins instead. One cat, another one. Got to move up. Now you're back below this again. You had a extended over here. You had a deep crab over here. This is a meme coin play. But again, look, the setup was there, right? The setup is there. You had key lows. You rated this previous low before going higher. It's just there's no liquidity in the market, right? Liquidity is low. It's very selective right now. That's it. Ondo just making fresh highs. Currently, you are struggling with the macro negative liquidity rate extension versus the 886 extension. Logical area why you're rejecting here, basically, right? Fibs doing their thing. Ondo, I don't need to speak anything for Ondo. If you're trying to short this, you're crazy, okay? Unless you're scalping, that's a different matter. You're scalping based on confirmations. But if you're trying to macro short this, trying to catch the top, good luck to you, because you don't know how high this is going to go. This isn't price discovery. Look to the left, guys. Do you see any resistance on this? Do you see any logical area where people should be stepping in based on price action? No, right? You don't just blindly short something like this, right? You don't. You don't ever try to catch a falling knife. You don't ever try to suppress a, rocket. This is what this is right now. This is a rocket, right? Blasting off. No historical price action for you to be logically confident in a short in. Everything is going to be speculation. So if you're going to be doing anything, it's going to be low time frame scalping based on confirmations at key fib levels. That's the only thing you can do if you're trying to catch some scalps. Another one, you had a bat into a type 2, which was a shark, and then that's having a reaction. The shark never actually completed with success. This would have been such an amazing entry, but that's what it is. Let's see, that's a meme coin. Say, another one, right, over here, you have a shark. The shark is followed by a bat, right? Your type 2 was a genuine bat. And to be honest, this looks like this could be something else as well. Is this like a godly or something? One sec, let me take a look. Generally speaking, eh, close but no cigar. Actually, wait. This has the potential to be a godly. Say looks. All you need to know is say looks crazy, right? For you non-harmonic people out there, right? Um, Say looks absolutely nuts. Like, I'm not lying when I say that. Look, and also this is why I said, look, no 4-hour flip, no trade. Okay. For anyone that blindly entered here, when I said wait for the flip, that's on you. Okay. If you entered here and you're in the red, that's on you because I said wait for the 4-hour flip. You never got the flip. I said no flip, no entry. You gotta wait for confirmations when you're trading this. Okay. Look, you rejected off the B for now. You're back down towards these levels. What you've done now is you've actually hit a daily order block, right? If I go to the daily here, you see you've hit a daily order block. You had a reaction off it. You went and you confirmed a breakdown from this higher level for now, actually, right? So now what you're doing is you're gonna wait to see, do you basically come and base here, right? As soon as you see some semblance of a local high or low here, for example, when you go back down, you retest 0.493, something like this. If anything like that happens and it holds, then you layer in, okay? And basically, if you get back towards these lower levels, just layer in my opinion, because say is at a very good place on the macro. A shock into a bat into a godly, right? So now it's just a matter of patience, like I said, bro. You just gotta outrun the market makers. You just gotta outlive you know, their purge, whatever they're doing right now. They're trying to purge the market. You just gotta outlive this particular section. Just gotta be patient. It's the meme coin bros that are having the time of their lives right now. It's not gonna stay like that forever, right? Eventually, these coins, money will rotate back into these coins, and that is where you're gonna be prepared for now. But yeah, Say looks cracked. Honestly, Say looks really, really good. MDT, another one, look, right, 886, followed by a shock, right, for the type 2. You had a 23% move up from this. I did pull my stop loss to break even on this after a 23% move. I would hope everyone did. So I did get stopped out at break even. But I will just re-enter, right? Look, I will happily just re-enter. Should we go and get a deeper feel of the order block, anything like that, I will just go and re-enter, right? There just isn't enough liquidity in the market right now to pump all of these coins, right? We're not in that phase of the market yet. But the setups are there, right? The setups are there. They tried, you just couldn't get to the B, couldn't get to the C, so on and so forth. You didn't get to the B point of this, right? Didn't get to the A. MDT, right? We have EWT, Energy Web Token. This is one I'm looking for spot, right? This is another BlackRock coin. For those of you that don't know, look at the chart. It looks good, right? So this is another BlackRock token that I'm adding to my port, layering in. EWT. For me, this is based just off FA, right? This isn't even more tier. This is just FA, just slowly layering in onto this one. Jasmy. The only reason I was looking at this is because this had a massive breakout on the weekly, right? So what you had here, if I go onto the log scale once for Jasmy. Here. The reason I entered this particular trade, I took it as a personal trade. I didn't call this one. I was too busy to call this one anyway. Breakout and successful close above an area where you couldn't close candles above, right? Look, wick. Couldn't close a candle above before, meaning this is an area where sellers were in control. But what you did, you had a breakout, right? And then you started to flip that area, confirming that, okay, where once sellers were active, now buyers are taking control. As soon as I saw that, that was a very, very easy entry for me. Because look, invalidation really, really tight, just below this wick. And then, yeah, there's your main target. I've already trimmed some profits on this. Just look at some, these are just some new meme coins, right? Something that I might try my hands on. Should I get good entries? I didn't enter on this one. Let's do Reef. This is another one. This is another one that looks good. I was looking at this. Look where it is. I just noticed this the other day, but look where you went and tagged, right? You went and you've tagged the low in 2023 September, right? And I didn't actually enter this in September, Reef. You've had the massive move up and now you've come down. You made higher lows, right? Look, higher highs and higher lows. So you once again, what you've done, you've tried to give that confirmation that you've gone from the sell side to the buy side. So for Reef in particular now, if you manage to flip above this mid, right, you manage to flip this mid, what is this? This is a bullish order block, right? This is a liquidity pocket to the upside. You had reactions off it, you broke below, used it as resistance, meaning what was once meant to be an area where buys were active, where there was an abundance of demand, turned into an area where there was now an abundance of supply, right? That is a bearish narrative in front of your eyes. That is a reason you should have shorted up here. You eventually got the breakout, right? And now what I'm looking for is a reclaim of this level, right? If this level gets reclaimed, right, and you get a very, very good reclaim of this level, what you're doing is you're reconfirming what was once an area of demand, right? This is no longer a valid liquidity pocket, right? That's already been ran through. This liquidity pocket is no longer valid. What I'm doing is using the fact that this used to be a liquidity pocket to base my price action around it, right? Just a logical step to base my price action. What once used to be a liquidity pocket to the upside, if you can confirm it again as support, what you've done is confirmed an area where buyers were once active is once again an area where buyers are active, right? And that is a reason for you to be in this trade, because then you'd be targeting these highs. After that, you'd be targeting these highs, right? After that, you're targeting all the way up here, right? So the move up on this can be drastic. You could get 3, 4, 5x off this, right? Look, because just look how bottomed out this is. Why would it keep going lower, right? It's much easier now for this to go higher than it is to go lower. Because realistically, how many people are left to sell, right? So Reef, another alt that you should be looking at, and I'm sure if I go down the time frames, right, that I'll find some completed M shapes or whatnot, right, something like that. I'm sure I'll find some. But this looks good, right? Reef is another one that looks good. Yeah, right there, right? 88, 54, 284, 58, right? This is a bat. This is a completed bat. And if you're talking fib retracements, then the first level you're looking at is literally at 0.01, right? So it's basically it's crazy. So, I'm not saying you're going to get all the way back to up to 0.01, but why not, right? Why not? If you start changing trend, then, external liquidity. After 2 TPs, that's where your next target is. So seems impossible now until, the bull market mania comes back, right? Proper old season comes back. Everything's popping off 1,000, 2,000, 3,000%. So that's Reef. Woo is another one. This is old stuff. I need to completely get rid of these. Hang on. Right. Why was I looking at Woo? The reason I was looking at Woo is because, well, firstly, the trend speaks for itself, right? Look, higher highs, higher lows. This could be a macro high low again. If that is the case, you're going to be gearing up for an impulse that's going to make you another higher high. But even just in terms of support and resistance, right? Even if you take it to just these wicks, you're at a key area, right? Look, again, at the mid, sure, you're rejecting off the mid for now, but anything up here is a buy, right? Because it's easy for you to manage your risk. And once the mid gets flipped, once the top gets flipped, you're going to go up, take the external liquidity, probably go and make new highs, right? Woo is one of those coins where I wouldn't be surprised if it made new highs in this bull market, just because, it's a DEX token, the DEX is good. So Woo, another one, right? What I'm trying to show you when I give you all of these, right? Coins like this. One last one. Let's look at Mong right now. Look at this, right? If you missed out on the meme coin play, you think you completely missed out on memes. Look at where Mong is at, right? Look at where Mong is at. Look at something like this. Man, just take a look, right? Daily. Above that low, right? Above that low. That's an area where you have now a daily bullish order block, right? You're starting to fill it. I've not entered positions on this yet, right? Just waiting because obviously it's a shit coin. I'm less confident in shit coins. But if you wanted to take a risk on something like this, right? On something like Mong, there's 2 places you would consider. And I just noted this just now, so I'm going to mark it out here. These are the 2 places you'd consider, right? This, especially if you manage to get a tap back into that daily now, right? You layer in there, you layer in towards basically this box, right? If you lose this, you cut, right? If you get a breakdown and you close below, you cut. If not, you're buying at an area, but this was once a demand zone. You have to break out. You're going to be confirming this as a demand zone again. If you don't even get that low, if you layer in here, you're at least buying at a daily order block, right? Above this daily level here. What happens above this level? Just take a look, right? What happens above this level? You go up to about here, right? If you get above that, because this liquidity pocket has been taken out now, you don't have a quote unquote fresh liquidity pocket, right? You don't have liquidity pockets to the downside. So your first target is genuinely just here, this external liquidity right here. After that, just take a look. This liquidity pocket's been taken out. You have nothing until all the way up here, right? So if you were to actually try to manage your risk, right, which you can do really easily here, you can manage your risk really easily here. You know, even there's even some memes like, you know, something called Mong, right? It's very in your face. But if you wanted to try out potential meme play, you know, you have something like Mong, where you definitely can, right? Look what this has been doing over time. What it's been doing over time is nice. Look, low, higher low, higher low, higher low, right? There's nothing bearish about making higher lows at the end of the day. Someone's clearly accumulating, right? Someone out there is accumulating Mong coin. Now, you know, it sounds silly, it sounds stupid, right? And if I was doing this in public, I'd be ashamed to say that out loud. But at the end of the day, if memes is where money is at, then why would you not take a bet here, right? It's a logical area to take a bet above this level. So Mong is another one that looks decent in my opinion. If you wanted a meme, I'm not in this yet. And look, whatever you enter into things like Mong coin and Apple, and you know, for anything like this, be happy that they might go to zero at the end of the day. I should not be telling you this. These are not serious investments, right? It's not like you're looking at a company's you know, earning report, you know, looking at how much products they shipped, are they meeting their quotas, what's their turnover rate. You don't know any of that. You just know this thing is called Mong coin, right? You just know that dog has a hat. You literally think about what you're investing in, right? And just position accordingly, please. Because the last thing I want is someone to get absolutely liquidated and be homeless because they bet their entire savings on Mong coin. Okay. But yeah, so you know, just some alts your way, guys. Just some alts I threw your way. Right, these all look amazing. FXS, another one, very low, low risk areas. When I say very low, very low risk areas, like backer range lows. So another one you can, you know, watch, right? FXS, render. This one this is an example of it playing out, right? I gave this just before I went to Morocco. Beautiful shark, and you actually have had a beautiful reaction off this as well, right? So which one is this? Is this group 3? If you're talking pitch fans, right? Look, you're trending up, which is amazing. More pitch fans right there. Trend-based fib extensions at key levels. Fib retracements at key levels, right? What's the one I'm looking at? It's one of these, right? There we go. And group 2. Where is it gone? I need to potential AMD model. There we go. So this is what I'm looking at for render, right? We've hit B point. We've hit that B point TP, right? That much is clear. We've hit the B point. We're consolidating above B for now. If we do get a potential spike down on Bitcoin, then I'm watching for this potential AMD model right here. Liquidity pockets, right? You have liquidity pockets. Duke out anyone that's building longs here. You can see all of these wicks are telling you people are building longs in this area. Duke them out, stop them all out, flush down. This is something we like to call a AMD model or a PO3: accumulation, manipulation, and then followed by your distribution. Right? That's something I'm potentially looking at on render, because your target at the end of the day is still AC. Right? What you did over here is you hit the macro 11413. Okay. And if I go to fib retracements, I should be able to show you that right now. One sec. When you hit the extension golden pocket plus the macro 11413, you haven't actually hit the top side of the harmonic yet, right? So this could just be a fake out to let people think, oh yeah, it's over before you actually go and hit the proper targets. Just something I'm watching for right now. If not, you know, you can also take a low risk long here just with stop loss below here. But the probability of a stop loss getting hit is pretty high, right? Because it's a logical place where liquidity is going to be sat, because everyone who took longs at these wicks is going to have their stop loss below here somewhere. So this is an area where I actually look for price to get rated into, and that is where I'll actually enter. When your stops get hit, I'll be buying. Thank you very much. So that's something I'm watching for on render, right? For a continuation and more importantly, completion of this harmonic pattern right over here. So yeah, we've looked at BTC, ETH, and a shit ton of votes today, guys, right? Right over there. Actually, I haven't even looked at chat, so let me catch up real quick. One sec, just scroll through. Yes, like Caleb said, by the way, I'm not an advocate to be a full-time trader right off the bat, right? Especially if you're young, bro. If you're young, why do you want to be a full-time trader? Well, I suppose there's many reasons why you would want to be a full-time trader. I'm not going to discourage you from being a full-time trader, but when you're young, just my personal mindset and the reason people keep asking me why am I not a full-time trader, bro. I'll be a full-time trader when I'm a bit older and I get tired, right? Like right now, I want to develop skills, I want to network, I want to build connections. I want to go out there, explore shit. Have a solid resume, actually have accomplished something, contribute to society, right? I'd rather do that when I'm younger than when I'm older. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like at this age, I wanna, like I said, bro, network, meet people, actually build a plethora of skills, like hone myself as an individual. You're not gonna do that sitting in your living room chair just scalping shit coins, right? You're not gonna do that. There's more to life than just, you know, what we're doing here. Okay. Yes, trading if you do it properly is an amazing tool and probably one of the best tools you have towards, you know, validating your purchasing power towards, financial security, financial freedom. If you do it properly, manage your risk, of course, right? But life isn't just about that, right? There's more to life than that. If you get what I'm trying to say, you know, there's more to life than just sitting in your chair scalping shit coins. So, um, like Caleb said, definitely, like I'm a big advocate. If you have an active job, go for it. Like I don't care what you do. It's good to have an active job. I don't care if you're washing dishes, you're mopping floors, you're doing this, you're doing that. There's nothing to be ashamed about. You get what I'm trying to say? If anyone mocks you for what you do, cut that person out of your life because that's not the type of person you want around you anyway. Yeah, sure, Mika, bro. I'll put it in a minute. Oh, yeah, you go. Thanks. Blue the cat put it on for me. Thanks, bro. Yeah, it's just because it's the recordings, brother. I'll start doing like shorts and stuff as well. Yeah, therefore don't do leverage. I think Blue's talking about Dash. Don't do leverage on Dash, okay? Look, something like that. It's very clear. It's for spot. Okay, it's for spot. All right, let me just catch up a chat. Dash hitting the high on Binance, $480. The Dash chart that I've got, bro, over here. Hang on, let me see for you. The Dash chart I've got is. Oh no, this is just the index chart. That's why, bro. I've got the index chart for Dash. So just Dash USD. This shows you price action for Dash from 2014, right? Because Dash is a very, very old coin. So its all-time highs is 1,000 something, 600. All you need is some oligarch out there, right? Someone with money to look at this and be like, you know what? I'm gonna spike this, right? They connect the right people, make some sort of news, and then next thing you know, this is pumped some crazy amount. So like I said again, for Dash, I will repeat, do not, like I said, I think I mentioned this when I was actually saying it as well. Don't be going there trying to be a hero doing max leverage on this, thinking you're gonna catch the bottom, right? If you didn't catch the bottom after 6 years, you're probably not gonna. This is a macro accumulation pattern, right? Macro. We're talking. It's been in this wedge since 2017. Okay, take your time with this one because this could play out 2026, 2028, 2030. Who knows when, right? But the opportunity is there, right? In terms of risk to reward, the opportunity is there. That's what I'm pointing out. You don't even need to play this whole green box. You can just play these local lows here. Look, the opportunity is there. Yeah, just type in a dash USD and click on the one that says crypto. It's not linked to any exchange. It's just the index chart of the actual price itself. Yeah, OXD looks good for sure, Rifu, bro. Like I said, I'm mad that I missed that B point, but it's what it is. Yeah, I'm gonna be putting this on my YouTube channel, bro. I'll put this up on my YouTube channel. Simpsons coin. Apple. It's meant to be. I think it's meant to be uh, like a offshoot of Pepe, bro. It's a frog coin, which is why I was looking at it. I was actually looking at it when that big dump happened for Apple on log. Like you, I think you saw it. I just didn't buy, bro. I was busy. Like this is thing. Look, TradingView added the ability, right, for you to go and genuinely put text. Like you can go and put text on your fib retracements, fib extensions, but you can't put alerts. Why would anyone want to put text in their fib, right? I was so hoping that it had the ability to set alerts up. Bro, half the trade, I've missed so many trade setups that I do just because I can't set alerts on fibs. And I'll be charting in a rush, right? I won't have time to like, do everything like I normally do. I just want one ability to just put alerts on individual fib levels. That's all I want. I'm gonna keep hounding them for this because that'd be amazing. That'd be a game changer, honestly. Yeah, yeah, exactly, Ernie, right? And if you get liquidated because you're a full-time trader, what are you gonna do then, right? Okay, so one sec. Tip told me to look at something. WLD. Let's look at WLD. Is that Wilder coin? It's that one, isn't it? Let's go to here. Go to 4Unity. Where is it? 4Unity. I'm thinking of getting overhauling my setup as well. Um, has has anyone here tried charting on like a TV? Because I was thinking, bro, like having more estate on the screen would be amazing, right? Having more like estate on the screen. So I was thinking of getting, one of these new LG OLED TVs, bro. I just want to get that. It'd be so fun. Because double monitor's nice and stuff, but it's like the TV would just be cleaner, I think. So yeah, like even a flat screen would be calm for me, bro. But like not like a monitor, like a proper TV. Maybe like a 50 or 60 inch, something like that, 4K, 8K something. How did you find it, bro? VR unlimited screens. But that's actually crazy though, Geek. To imagine. I've never considered that. Imagine a Training View comes out with VR fucking, you can start using your VR headset to charting it. That'd be crazy. Oh, you can. Oh, that's crazy. Struggle to see the details. Okay, Blue. Thanks, bro. LG QLED 128 inches. Fucking hell. Rifu, yes, I do. I do one-on-ones. I've got many students in the stream today, actually. If you're interested, just reach out, bro, on DMs. Apple Vision Pro supported trading view. Right, that's actually so cold. Never knew that. Okay, hang on. Let's take a look at WLD. Okay, WLD USD. Do you guys know which one has the most data? Let's go. Let me do this first. One sec. Let's go to master list. I'm sure I have it here. WLD USDT. Okay, I don't have it. I'm a cook. Okay. In that case, let's see if they have a DT. We've got with Binance, OKEX, KuCoin, Bybit, Mexi, and Gate CoinX. Okay, so I've actually got TA on this on Binance. OKEX has the same amount of data. KuCoin has the same. It's just got different highs, I suppose. Okay, yeah, Binance looks good enough. Yeah, Binance is. Let me just completely overhaul this. Delete. Um, let's take a look. So, um, I mean, logically speaking, straight away, here you go. It's a really nice area to pivot around if you do get the pivot. If you straight away, judging off macro structure, this is a player I would, if you wanted to enter here, this is how I would take it, right? Why? Previous all-time highs, rejection. So two forms of rejection followed by flipping the rejection into support, right? The box I drew on, the reason I drew it there is because that's the area within which, before you had the breakout, you couldn't close any candle bodies above, right? Look, wick, and then this is where your candle bodies close. So this is an area where basically sellers said, you shall not pass to the buyers, right? Had a breakout, this is your retest, not a bad area to actually layer in, okay? So tip, bro, if you actually want to do spots on this, not a bad place to layer in at all. I'll just layer in here. If you go lower, just layer in. Go lower, just layer in. If you start losing this wick and then you flip it to resistance, then I will just cut. Because if you flip this area to resistance, you're going to go down towards here. And this is the next area where I'd look to enter. Because what do you have down here? This is a demand zone. And this is a textbook demand zone. This isn't a modified demand zone. It's a textbook demand zone, right? So let me just plop that down right over here. And this is on the weekly, which is amazing. The high time frames, I love it. So either you layer in here and you cut it at the loss of this box, right? So you close below, you get that failed retest, you cut it. Or, if you don't enter here, you want to risk waiting for this. And the reason I say risk is because obviously you might not get this. This is the next area where I'd actually enter in. But either way, this is a very, very good area to try and manage your risk for WLD. Because you have your breakouts from an area where before buyers couldn't close any candle bodies above. And now you have a retest. And now sellers are actually managing to not close any candle bodies below, meaning you had severe weakness here from the buyers. Now you're seeing severe weakness from the sellers, right? Buyers couldn't close candle bodies above, bearish. Sellers are now not actually managing to close candle bodies below this. Look, bullish. This wick is telling you, even though sellers tried to take price there, buyers bought it up, right? So this is bullish, right? This is good. Very, very simple. I didn't really do anything extreme on this, but just out of curiosity, that looks like something like a 618, or actually this looks deeper than a 618. Oh wait, hang on, actually let me delete this, click on this, and then choose this configuration of fibs. Brother, come on, man. There we go. There. Yeah, you had the liquidity rate, right? The 61866, 702, 707 liquidity rates, the golden pockets. Now you're hovering around the golden pocket. So it's a very, very nice area for sure to bid. WLD this. I'm actually layer into this on spot. Like the chart is cracked, bro. Look, higher highs and higher lows at the end of the day. I might layer into this on spot. Yeah. But yeah, so let me add this to my to core V4 and also for Unity. Yes. Oh yeah, WLD is already in for Unity. Never mind. Yeah, there we go. So this is the most recent one. Put this here. Add section. Let me call this 6 there. But yeah, that's WLD right there. That looks good. What about on log? Shouldn't really matter because it's a pretty new coin. But okay, so you've had an extension. So you had a perfect 70270. You had a liquidity rate tap basically right here for the top. You can see that, right? Anyone that says fib can't work, they can kiss my ass, bro, honestly. Fibs are the truth. Most powerful form of TA, in my opinion. Look, top 702.707. As soon as this low was put in, you had enough data to throw this on. First rejection was at the 414 liquidity rate, higher low at the 236214. Liquidity rate, the 702.707 again. Flipped the 0.5 before that. This pullback you had was a golden pocket pullback, and now you're maintaining the liquidity rate, right? So again, you can see you are now ranging. You're at the bottom of the range. The range is making slightly higher lows. You might get when you see structure like this, it's not uncommon to get a liquidity rate, right? Because these nice little higher lows are basically gearing you up for to have a run on everyone's stop losses, basically. But that's not guaranteed, right? So that's the trade-off. You either wait for that and miss the entry, or you enter here and that ends up happening. So that's the trade-off. So that's the best advice, just layer in, right? I know I keep saying it, but that's literally the best advice for when you're in a situation like this. It's going to be the same for all coins. Just layer in, because that chop, you can just absorb it if you have the purchasing power. But yeah, WLD does look good here. It does look good. Oh, let me just put it on the chat. Let's look at your play, bro. If my Wi-Fi will load it up anyway. 1 second. WLD. Oh, nice. 1272. This little butterfly 886 bat. Yeah, that looks good, bro. That looks clean. Yeah, I agree. That looks good, man. Yeah. Yeah, bro. WLD does look good. But anyway, guys, that's a lot of alpha for you here today. So, I'm not going to be updating these like every week on my channel. I've not called all of these on my channel. This is, for you guys who made it to the stream. There you go. When we start updating this, right, let's say 5, 6 months from now, eventually, if we do catch bids and this goes up and we start updating it, now you know where the source is, right? Right here. I've already given you the plays. There's many alts like this. There's many I've not covered as well, right? There's more alts that are sat like this at key levels. It's just a matter of now out surviving this chop. That's all you need to do. Right? You just need to survive this chop. Survive this chop. Just layer in many good coins. But yeah, guys, I'm gonna end this stream here. I hope you guys found it worth your time. Hope you guys enjoyed. If anyone here is interested in learning my system, how I trade, wants mentorships, one-on-ones with me, I do offer that. I have a couple spots left on my current batch, so just reach out to me in DMs if you're interested. But if not, there's Academy Pro that I just launched as well. If you guys haven't already signed up, that's live now too. Oh, thanks, bro. Yeah. But yeah. Thanks again. Thanks, guys. I'll be uploading the stream to my YouTube. I'll let you know. I'll let you guys know when.